Imagine meeting a man who never chases women. He doesn't flood anyone's phone with messages, he doesn't compete for attention, and he doesn't seem bothered when someone walks away. Most people see that behavior and immediately assume one thing: arrogance. But what if they're seeing only the surface? What if the truth has nothing to do with pride and everything to do with psychology? We often confuse attention with affection. Society teaches men that persistence is romantic, that if they simply try harder, they'll eventually earn someone's love. Movies celebrate relentless pursuit. Social media rewards constant attention. But real human connection rarely works that way. The more someone tries to force it, the more genuine attraction tends to disappear. At the heart of chasing is often something deeper than romance. It's the desire to feel chosen, to feel seen, to feel enough. Psychologists call this external validation, the tendency to measure your worth through someone else's approval. The problem is that when your confidence depends entirely on another person, your peace does too. Men who don't chase often share one characteristic. They have something meaningful pulling them forward. A career, a business, a creative passion, a mission. Their purpose doesn't eliminate loneliness, but it gives their life direction. Instead of asking, "Who will complete me?" they begin asking, "Who can walk beside me while I pursue what matters?" There's an important difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. Solitude is the ability to enjoy your own company. Men who become comfortable with solitude are often less likely to chase attention, not because they reject relationships, but because they no longer fear being by themselves. Modern life is filled with noise, notifications, endless scrolling, constant comparison, yet growth often happens in silence. It is in those quiet moments away from distractions that people discover what truly matters. Confidence rarely grows in chaos. It grows in reflection. One of the strongest forms of confidence isn't speaking louder, it's knowing when to walk away. Self-respect means recognizing that not every connection is meant to last. Sometimes maturity isn't convincing someone to stay. Sometimes it's accepting that both people deserve to choose freely. But here's where people often get it wrong. Not every man who doesn't chase is emotionally secure. Some have simply learned to hide behind distance. Confidence and emotional avoidance can look almost identical from the outside. The real difference isn't what they do, it's why they do it. Tell the difference between someone who has mastered himself and someone who is simply afraid of getting close. The answer isn't found in his words. It's revealed by his patterns, the choices he makes, the way he responds to disappointment, and the life he builds when no one is watching. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the habits that quietly separate emotionally mature men from those who are simply avoiding vulnerability, because from the outside, they may look the same. But psychologically, they couldn't be more different. At first glance, two men can behave in exactly the same way. Neither chases, neither constantly texts, neither seems desperate for attention. Yet, internally, they couldn't be more different. One has learned to enjoy his own company. The other has simply built walls around his heart. The behavior is identical. The psychology is not. Understanding that difference changes everything. Emotionally secure men don't spend every conversation trying to impress someone. They don't measure their worth by how many people admire them. Their confidence comes from something quieter, a stable sense of identity. They've learned that the strongest validation isn't received from others. It's built through keeping promises to themselves. Human beings naturally want to feel accepted. It's part of who we are. But when approval becomes a necessity instead of a bonus, it begins to control our decisions. We stop asking what we truly want and start asking what will make other people like us. That's where authenticity quietly disappears. Ask almost any successful person what they value most, and the answer is rarely money. It's time. Men who stop chasing often begin protecting their attention as carefully as they protect their finances. They understand that every hour spent seeking validation is an hour that could have been spent building a better future. Walking away isn't always a sign of indifference. Sometimes it's the clearest expression of self-respect. Healthy people understand that not every relationship is meant to continue forever. Holding on to something that no longer brings peace can become more painful than letting it go. Many people fear being alone because silence forces them to face themselves. Yet solitude has a remarkable effect on the mind. Without constant distractions, priorities become clearer, goals become sharper, and decisions become less emotional. Sometimes the loudest answers arrive during the quietest moments. The strongest confidence often goes unnoticed. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't seek applause. It quietly appears in daily habits, disciplined routines, and the ability to stay consistent when nobody is watching. Real confidence is less about image and more about character. Ironically, the people who spend the least time trying to appear attractive often become the most attractive. Not because they're playing games, but because confidence, purpose, and emotional stability naturally draw people in. Genuine attraction grows where authenticity exists, not where attention is forced. Perhaps the greatest shift happens when someone stops looking for another person to complete them. Healthy relationships aren't designed to fill emotional emptiness. They're meant to enrich lives that are already meaningful. Two whole people create a stronger partnership than two people searching to be rescued. So perhaps the question was never why some men don't chase women. The better question is what they're chasing instead. Purpose, peace, growth, emotional maturity. And when those become the foundation of a person's life, relationships stop being something to pursue at any cost. They become something to build together, with mutual respect and genuine choice. The strongest relationships are not built on chasing. They are built on mutual choice, shared respect, and two people who continue growing both together and as individuals.